Hello everyone. It's me. It's Caleb here. I am back with another video for you guys today. Yes, I know I know I put out my return video like 2 days ago, and you guys are like, "Wait, you said you were going to upload but I also said in the video that whenever I have time, because remember I am still in school, I'm still in college, so it's still very limited of me, right? So, but don't worry, I'm bringing out a new video today, and a really interesting video for today because I wanted to give, as I said in my return video, I have made a lot of changes to the Rofur franchise as a whole, and so in today's video, I kind of want to give you guys kind of like what's the word I'm trying to look for? Kind of like an overview, kind of a recollection of like what's been going on in the franchise, like what has expanded onto and stuff like that. And so that's I'm gonna show you. So this is gonna be kind of a part one to this. Because this is not clear. Obviously this is not everything. So I will make a part two of this. So don't you worry about that. And in terms of intro. In terms of an intro, I will try my best to make an intro. I think probably, if you do watch my videos, I'm pretty sure something that, I definitely lack in my videos is that I don't have an intro, which hopefully in the future I will get that taken care of. I'm trying my best to try to like figure some stuff out, and if I can make an intro, I will definitely do it, and obviously put that in my videos because it would just be better. But yeah, so but on to what I'm gonna do. So this right here, it's quickly made, but obviously this is a Rofur series overview right here, made by me, obviously, and so this right here is just like a little reference sheet for me right here. It's like, as I said, I already have the information written down in this report here. So like this is just for me in order to keep track of everything and stuff like that. And here's another one, just of like the backside of it, but whatever. And if you're wondering why this is called the old era, the reason why is because the old era is basically all the way from Rofur 3.1 all the way to whatever game it was the end of that, and the new era would actually would be encompassed by them. Basically, Rofur and the cast will be like 1 year older from the time that the last game of the old era, and then the new era, Rofur and the cast will be like 1 year older, and there will be a whole new set of games. So that's kind of what I'm going on. And in terms of in this, so then here we have an introduction. This introduction is not to like this is basically kind of the story of the first two games. If you're new, or if you kind of if you need like a refresh on like, okay, how does it kind of start? This right here, I'm not gonna read it, but if you guys want to go and pause it, or do whatever. So you can get like like I said, refresh in your mind about like how does the first two games start, and how basically the series starts. This right here is kind of like a quick little introduction overview, stuff like that. And what we have here next is actually some drawings that I made that kind of go along to how in terms of Rofur and his friends, and I wanted to give what they kind of like look like throughout the games in the old era, what their ages, what their height is, and stuff like that. So in terms of so obviously we're gonna do Rofur first, and in the beginning of the first game he was 15 years old, and he was 3'3", and this is what he looked like right here. He doesn't look too different from what I've drawn. So he has long tail like a weasel, claws, kind of like fur whiskers of his side of his cheeks. Obviously more of curved ears, just the standard. And obviously the shoes I kept the same because I didn't want things to be too different. And then over here, By the time of the last game of the old era, he is 17 years old, 3'8", and this is what he basically kind of looks like. So, what you're gonna see mostly throughout these drawings is that by the time of the end of the old era, the cast is probably gonna be taller. So yeah, so that's, like I said, for Rofur, he's now 3'8", and he's now 17 years old. And this is what he looks like. He has longer hair, kind of like broader a little bit, obviously taller. He has more kind of like bigger for whiskers on his cheeks a little bit. Differently on the shoes, and also kind of like side, kind of like spiky fur, or showing a fur right here on the sides of his chest. So nothing too crazy about that. And now we have for Grounder. So Grounder was 16 years old by the time he was introduced, and 3'6". And so this is what he basically looked like. Not obviously, like I said, not too far from what he originally looked like. But I obviously made some changes to his design. Obviously, I want him to be unique. And so obviously, he's a meerkat. So, he has obviously the stripes of his tail and right here on his body. He still has like the 3 claws. I still wanted to keep him that because obviously without that, he's not really Grounder. And he has a different kind of nose, and then obviously some spiky hair coming off, with 2 kind of ones coming off from his from his sides right here, just to give him a little I don't know, more detailed. And obviously he still has kind of like the spike shoes from before, so nothing too much has changed. But then by the time of the old, whoa, okay, that's okay. By the time of, I need to fix that. By the time of the end of the old era, now he should be 18 years old, and he should be 4 feet tall now. So he grew quite a much, and so now this is what he looks like. So nothing too much. A little bit change on the part that connects to his gloves. Obviously taller, bigger hair, bigger the side hair coming from the side of his face. Longer, maybe a little bit longer tail. Maybe more detailed shoes, kind of. So not too. They don't look too different. Besides, like maybe like bigger hair, taller, and stuff like that. So then now we move on to Howler. Howler was 12 years old from the beginning of the old era, and he was 2 feet 8 inches. And this is what he kind of looked like right here. I changed a lot about Howler, yes, if you didn't wonder. So he kind of has the same shoes as before, a different look of his tail. And he also has this fur coming out right here on his chest, kind of like signifying that he's a wolf. And I think, oh yeah, and they give him like different type of gloves from him, just so that he looks more, I guess, more to his character. And by the time of by the end of the old era, he's now 14, and he's 3'2". So obviously taller, bigger tail, and then bigger fur here. This pretty much the same, just pretty much taller, more bigger fur, stuff like that. And so biggest change right here is Aurora Violet. So originally, this character was obviously named Jamie. If you did not, if you have seen my older videos, but I've changed it to Aurora. So if you're wondering, like, okay, what happened to Jamie? I wanted to go and change the name because I thought it was more. I thought it was too kind of obvious, so I changed it to Aurora. But I still kept her, her last name. That I still kept the same. And in terms of design, I have originally I didn't really draw or sketched out Aurora, but in terms of what she looked like, she pretty much looked like this. She had kind of ruffled hair on her. She has her dress with kind of like these like diamond cuttings coming from out of it. Obviously she has claws, like weasels do, and she was 14, and she had a height of 2 feet 11 inches. And so yeah, nothing about her has really changed, other than by the time of of the end of the old era, she's taller. She has more details in her dress, more detailed shoes, more bigger shoes, um, bigger fur, I kind of, and now she is 16, as well as being 3 foot 5 inches now. So, in terms of the first 4 characters that I ever made, that's kind of the lineup. Of course, like I said, guys, this is only part 1. I will make a part 2 of showcasing the other characters, which there's still quite a lot more. But yeah, in terms of just the first 4, that's what they look like for now. And so now we're gonna move on to kind of like a database for the Rofur / Prime universe, which obviously means the universe that they reside in. So in terms of the order of the games, so if you want to go ahead and pause while I'm kind of like flipping through these, go ahead, so then you kind of like know the order and stuff like that. So if you're wondering gods, but like, wait, you didn't have gods before. I know that is something that I have greatly changed about this franchise, is that the introduction of kind of like the gods who are like the order like kind of like the foundations of the of terms of like the reality of the cosmology and everything in terms of the franchise. And so in terms of I'll give like a little quick overview right now. In terms of the universe, the Prime universe that Rofur and his friends live in, they exist in a higher, well, they exist in something that's I like to call a dimensional sector, which is basically a hyperspace that's 8th dimensional, right? And so, in terms of what the gods right here are referring to, they're related to who this dimensional sector was made by. So in terms of what the hyperspace that Rofur and his friends are from, they're made by a creation god named Zephrol. And the god of darkness, which the gods of darkness are supposed to be kind of like the opposite of the creation gods. They're supposed to be the representing destruction. They live in their own separate reality. They're supposed to be like, if there's good, there has to be evil. That's basically what they are. And in terms of this, like their specific god of darkness, his name is Elric. And of course, Time Lord. Time Lords are the rulers of the Time Temple, which is a temporal dimension that exists in the hyperspace. And of course, controls all of time in order for time to be balanced. In order for there to not to be any like like time anomalies or stuff like that. That's what they are for. And the Time Lord, his name is Itar. And the Miracle Stones, okay, so something, I changed this a lot. So the Miracle Stones are supposed to be basically a lifeline of these powerful gems that are supposed to take care of life in certain planets and within the respective spaces. So the Gaimine topazes here are the miracle stones of Earth. They are, they're basically supposed to keep things balanced. If there's too much evil going around, it will do something about it and stuff like that. And the Masu Onyx is actually the miracle stone that Grounder is the guardian of, and was originally on the planet that Rofur and his friends were originally in, and was brought over to Earth because, well, their planet was destroyed, which I will get to that on later on. And of course, the Zevlendel is a different miracle stone from a different planet. Was still within the universe of Rofur's universe, so that's why I put it in there, because there could be more than one miracle stone within the universe. It's probably like almost to an infinite degree of amount of miracle stones within one universe, because obviously there's other planets out there, and the planets have life that needs to be protected by in order to keep things balanced between good and evil. There will always be a miracle stone there in order to protect it. So there's that, and the Gaimine topazes are the very things that do give Rofur and his friends kind of like their super forms, their actual forms. Obviously, I want it to be different, of course, from Sonic, of course. So there you go. There's that. And of course, if you want to go ahead and pause the video to look at the order of the games here, there, as you can see, there is a lot of games, right? And including games that involve actually giving the other characters their own. Like, of course, there is Ground the Meerkat 1, there is Eroba's the Weasel 1, there's Forest and Tide, there's Howler. There is one game that just involves all the female characters in one game. That's actually pretty cool. And and so there's a couple more, well, a lot more, but yeah, this right here is all the games for the old era. Obviously, I will do a part 2 of this, and in terms of, okay, well, what about the new era? Since that right there is still a kind of a work in progress right now, I'm still kind of laying out everything for that. So right now, obviously, I'm still sticking to the old era. There still needs to be some things that I need to organize and everything like that. So yeah, that's the reason why. And then the last thing, for at least part 1 is the introduction of Yinden. Now Yinden, I kind of wanted to name the race of what Rofur and his friends are. So originally they were like, of course, I obviously already had made them aliens to begin with, but of course I didn't have like a specific like what type of, like, what's the name of the race or whatever, right? So I decided with the Yinden, and as you see here, they are a race of anthropomorphic mammal, solely mammals, because as I was kind of doing this series ever since I first started, I kind of wanted to do some sort of like different characters that were not mammals, like birds, lizards, or reptiles or stuff like that. But then I just ended up just wanting to do mammals, because mammals are kind of the most easiest one to do. So that's why that's why I did it. I'm still trying to figure out the name of the planet that they're from, but in terms of the layout of what Yinden are, Yinden obviously are the race of the anthropomorphic mammals that Rofur and his friends are, and they're classified. The Yinden are classified based on what type of biome they're from, and the biomes from the original planet can be described as the same biomes on Earth. Like if there's like a desert, if there's like a frozen wasteland, or woodlands or rainforests and stuff like that. Those type of biomes do exist on their planet, and it all depends on what type of biome they're from. Kind of classifies what type of mammal they are, and also depending on what type of mammal there are. Also, you can also kind of like classify what type of power they have. I'll get into like what powers, or what type of like life force and power that they each have, probably in part 2. But just to just for this video, I will just say that the Yinden were in terms of how they were laid out. Each biome had a military unit. That would be like, I don't know. Let's give an example of the woodlands. The woodlands were composed of very mammals that probably on Earth, will be like stuff like like deer, bears, weasels, rodents, wolves, rabbits, foxes, stuff like that, right? That the woodland biome was composed of. And in terms of what military units they had, weasels were obviously one of them. So Rofur as a weasel would be classified as kind of like a military unit, Yinden on his planet, and Howler as a wolf will probably be more in terms of like a support, like kind of like tech support slash also fighter, as as the unit were very organized, so like they kind of like had classes based on like what type they were. Obviously, there were some classes of mammals of Yinden that were like not made for fighting, or some just stick to just being just kind of average Yinden citizens. But of course, each biome had a military unit, or and not like a military unit. They probably had like clans of fighters that, of course, would protect their land. So, and the meerkats were obviously one of them. They were a clan from the savanna biome that protected their land. So that that is an example of one. And of course, being a Yinden means that you're stronger, you're faster. You have tolerance for extreme temperatures. They were really resilient, to extreme change in temperatures. And since there are mammals, pretty much all of them would have pretty keen, excellent senses. As some of them can probably have night vision. Some of them even have heat vision. Some can hear things from far away, see things from far away, see things even when the sun is shining. Hear things from underground, sense vibrations, stuff like that. So yeah, the Yinden, that's basically what the race of Rofur are. So yeah, I know I didn't have that before, and of course, like I said, there are many things I still have to tell you guys because I've expanded this franchise for so much, and there's just so much for me to tell. And I hope you guys are excited for me to share that with all of you guys. So in terms of that, I think that's going to be it for part 1 of kind of like a recollection or franchise overview of what's been going on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you haven't please like the video, please comment down what your favorite part was, and please subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. It only takes 1 second of your time. Just hit that so you get notified of when I upload next. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.